We are Geeking Out Ninjas, and we're here to geek out. I'm Jeremiah.
And I'm Craig.
How are you doing tonight, Craig?
Just, dandy.
Just dandy?
Just dandy.
Just dandy.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm excited to talk about all the things we have to talk about. We have a lot.
Yes, we actually do, and we're going to have to try to jam this all into our special 1 hour tonight.
Yeah. Trying to keep them all to an hour. Don't want to go too long.
No. You need to enjoy this on your way to work and back, but just in one day. We don't want to spread it out.
Or while you're at work.
Yes.
During your lunch break.
You could do that. We give you permission to take the full hour.
It's good to know.
Well, what's going on? What's new?
Yeah. So Google Fiber was being laid in the street on my street today.
Nice.
So yeah, they have a gigantic circular saw that cuts a trench along, like right between the concrete and the asphalt.
Okay.
Cuts that I think it's like a 6-inch deep trench.
So is it like on the dirt, or is it actually on the?
It's in the asphalt.
Asphalt. Oh, it's on the asphalt.
Yeah, so it's like right where the asphalt and the concrete meet in the street.
Oh, yeah. I probably wouldn't have got any work done today. I'd probably be watching that.
It was really loud.
I can imagine.
There was a point where I wasn't sure if the noise was coming from in front of me in my house or behind me, which is at the street. It was a very strange, it was like surround sound, like 360-degree sound, but it was like the most awful noise in the world. But yeah, I was like, is my desk vibrating? Like, what is this? Where is this coming from? Because it literally sounded like it was coming in front of me when the windows behind me are pointing to the street. So
wow,
it was real bizarre.
I'm sure there was no nap time today.
Luckily my daughters were at my mom's house, so
okay.
It worked out just nice. So they finished the whole street today, I think, except for maybe just a little bit, like, I don't know, 30 feet or so.
Wow.
So, yeah,
impressive.
They got it done pretty fast. And what was funny to me, so I went to look while they were doing it, and so they have that gigantic saw,
right?
And then there's a guy behind it with like a leaf blower. I'm assuming it's just to like keep debris and whatnot away from the saw, but it looked hilarious.
Did you record any of it?
No, I thought about it, but I was like, man, I don't want to go out there and be that guy. But got another Google Fiber nerd. He's going to be so excited. It's coming.
You should have wore your Google Fiber shirt and yeah.
Guys, look, I've been waiting. So hopefully pretty soon I'll get some Google Fiber.
There should be like a timeline somewhere that you could look in, like, it's a map of Google Maps and it has your house and it should tell you like a countdown to when you'll have fiber.
Well, normally they put something on your door, but I didn't get it. I don't know if my wife got it and she was like, I'm going to hide this from Craig so he doesn't know, or maybe they just haven't done it because they're going to lay the fiber in the whole neighborhood first, and then once they do that, then they'll send out the little flyers. Because I think so my parents actually just had it installed in their neighborhood at the middle of or end of last year, and so I think everything got laid down, and then they all got like little door tags, essentially saying, "Hey, Google Fiber's coming. Go here to sign up," and then they take like a couple weeks to come out.
Did they start at the other end of your neighborhood, or are they starting at your side? You're almost in the middle, right?
I'm in the middle, yeah. Okay. They started near Blanco, and it looks like they're working their way to Huebner. So
to Huebner. That's not coming towards me though. That's kind of going away from me. That's sad.
Surrey.
Yeah, they need to work this way.
I'm pretty excited. So hopefully in the next couple months,
you should be
switching away from AT&T, which will be fantastic.
And I'll tell you, we almost moved to that side, like that side of 1604.
Yeah, you would have been real close to getting it too.
I've been terribly close. We looked at a house not far from you last year. So last year is when we moved. Of course, everybody that's tuning in don't know. We moved last year from Cibolo back to North Central San Antonio. So yeah, we were really looking really close over there, but ended up on the other side. And now side. I'll probably never get fiber now, Google Fiber, anyways, because of that decision. I blame my wife.
Gonna be kicking yourself for years to come.
I know, having to keep this other company I'm with. And if you've listened to prior episodes, you know who I'm talking about.
And if you listen to last week, you'll know that Jeremiah disappeared for a few minutes.
I did. That was terrible.
Well, Craig freaked out and didn't know how to talk anymore.
But we made it. We made it through.
We made it to the end.
Awesome.
What's going on new with you?
Well, so we are planning, or we have planned a big vacation actually in a couple of weeks. And so we've talked about maybe doing, I don't know what we're going to do for our episode that week. Maybe I'll record something where I'm at, but we're going to Disney, right? We're going to Florida in the midst of a pandemic. So
you're that family.
Well, yeah, because we're hoping there'll be less people there.
Definitely less people.
So, just the experience of doing everything online. And we've done this before, but doing Airbnb, scheduling that online. And it's just been such a breeze. And I'll tell you my experience. I love using Airbnb. We've used other websites in the past, but Airbnb seems to be really simple. And what's interesting this time is that we picked a house, and it turns out 2 weeks ago, I got an email saying that this house was no longer available because the owner sold the house.
What?
Or the townhome, or it might be a condo. I don't know. It's a townhome or a condo. I forget what they classified as, but they ended up selling it. So they had to change our reservation. But what's kind of cool is that, and it doesn't really do anything for us, but they gave us a larger home within the same community, but now it's a 4-bedroom instead of a 3-bedroom. So for the same price. I mean, it doesn't really do anything for us because we're not increasing the number of people that we're taking. But unless y'all are available, we have an extra.
I wish.
It's a twin set, but y'all could, all 5 of y'all could fit in the twin, 2 twins.
Perfect.
Right.
We'll make it. Yeah.
You'll make it work, right?
I hope you're okay with crying in the middle of the night. And I'm not talking about my kids. That's me, people.
Hey, I'm used to that actually. But anyways, yeah. So by the time you hear this, it doesn't matter. Nobody's coming with us. But we have an extra room now. So I don't know what we're gonna do that. But it's
maybe, maybe I can go with you and then not tell my wife.
I don't know. Is she like a Disney nut?
We both like going to Disney.
Okay.
We've been to Disney together. I think back in 2012 we went on a trip to Florida, went to some national parks, and went to Disney World. So
did y'all go to Universal?
We didn't get to go. She threw her back out or something, and we had tickets to go, but we couldn't go because her back hurt so bad that we just didn't go. She's kicking herself because she's a huge Harry Potter fan.
Oh, it is
and she
so
hasn't
awesome.
She hasn't gone to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter yet.
Oh, she's missing out. I'll tell you. Well, let me tell you what happened, because this is cool too. So I bought my tickets online. I actually bought the Universal tickets last year, and I bought them, I believe it was September. And what was pretty awesome is that when I logged in to buy them, I had to wait 2 weeks because when I first logged in, or did I do it early? I don't know. Either way, whatever. I bought them, and we were going to go 2 days at Universal, and they were running a special. If you bought 2 days, you get 2 days free. So we ended up having to extend our vacation because we're going to get to do 4 days at Universal as opposed to just 2, what we normally do.
Nice.
Yeah. So we actually took a day away. We took a day away from Disney so that we could have extra time at Universal because of Harry Potter. It's very cool.
Got to do what you got to do. Got to get your wand on.
We have one wand, and it's really neat. And you got to take your wife now, because if she's such a Harry Potter fan, she's going to love. It's very awesome and very cool.
She's a Potter nerd.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my wife's not a Potter nerd, but she loves going and riding the rides and doing all the stuff because it's so impressive.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
I look forward to going. I'm hoping we do a show from Disney. It'll be a short one, like 15 minutes. We'll do like a little look around, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. See if
We might be able.
Jeremiah's wife go for it. We'll just do like a quick thing on his phone or something.
We might pull something off. We should.
We should totally try something.
I think we should. And we'll do something. We'll figure something out.
Yes.
How about that? That's a great teaser. So make sure you join us in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Dos Weekos. That's how you say it in
Yes.
Spanish. Dos Weekos.
That's awesome. What else is going on?
Not how you say that.
What's up? What else is going on, Craig?
So we got some news.
Yes.
I'm super excited about this. Not that I can afford these vehicles, but they announced a refresh of the Tesla Model S and X. It's mostly interior stuff, but they like completely changed the interior.
I know it's actually really nice.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
it's different.
it looks a lot more like the Model 3 to some extent. So they've got the horizontal dash instead of the vertical, or horizontal screen instead of the vertical screen. They're keeping the gauge cluster behind the steering wheel, but the steering wheel doesn't have a top to it, and it's in the shape of a U, which is interesting. I'm not sure about that for the average driver because I feel like a lot of people do like the caddy turn.
Yes.
Like one-handed. I think I do the caddy turn.
Do you?
I think I picked that up from someone who I rode with one time when I was like in third grade.
And it just looked cool, didn't it? And
It just feels right. It feels right.
It's going to feel like more like I'm playing Mario Kart than driving, I think, with the new steering wheel.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sold on the steering wheel, so I'm curious if that's gonna be the final steering wheel and what people will say when they actually drive with the steering wheel. I'm a little skeptical on that, but it's got the one big vent like the Model 3 and the Model Y have across the front dash. And the whole front interior has been completely revamped. It looks a whole lot more like the new Model 3 and Model Y revamp. Even has like the wireless charging below the screen.
Right. Well, I love the picture that it shows. I mean, your screen is showing Netflix, like you can like watch Netflix while you're driving.
So you can't watch it while you're driving right now, but you can sit at the charger and watch Netflix or YouTube or Hulu or a bunch of other different services that are on there. Play games on there.
Right. But it just looks like
as long as the car's in park, you can do those things.
Right.
So they also added a screen to the back. So in that center console, there's actually a screen in the back of that for the back row, which looks really a nice addition. And they added the panorama roof like they have on the Y and the 3. So it's one big pane of glass on the top, nothing in the middle. The crazy thing about this, so there's like 3 different trim levels, I think. Let me find the exact. So they have 3 trim levels. There's a long range. It goes to 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds, which is crazy fast.
Is it?
They have the plaid the plaid version, which if you're a fan of Spaceballs, that's what that reference is from. Right. It goes 0 to 60 in 1.99 seconds. And there's a Plaid Plus edition, which goes 0 to 60 in sub 1.99 seconds. So below 1.99 seconds. They don't have the exact speed on here. It just says below less than 1.99 seconds. So that means it's the fastest production vehicle on the road at less than 1.99 seconds.
I can't imagine what that feels like.
It feels
I've never had to go that fast, but
Have you been on the rock and roller coaster at Disney World?
It's
The
been a
Aerosmith
while.
ride?
Yes.
So it kind of feels like that, where you're literally just like uh pinned against the chair and you're just accelerating. It feels like a roller coaster. It's insane. I mean,
I'm gonna
I've
have.
never been in a car that goes that fast, obviously, but I mean, being in my car and seeing other people go in their like Model S's, that's exactly what it feels like.
That is crazy.
It isn't. It's insane. It's a blast to do, but incredibly dangerous. It's one of those
Sure. Yeah.
one of those things you obviously hopefully you're not doing all the time, but you'll burn your tires out real fast. You'll be changing those tires out after like 1,000 miles. But the range on the Plaid Plus is 520 plus miles.
That's a pretty good drive.
Yeah, so that's the highest ever for an electric vehicle that I'm aware of. Um, and I think the current holder is actually the current Model S at 420 miles of range.
Does it charge any faster?
Didn't say anything about charging. I don't think so. It'll probably be compatible with the version 3 superchargers, which do go faster. I don't remember the exact speed. But it charges really quick. I think it's like 0 to 80% in like 30 minutes or something like that.
Oh, that's impressive.
Which I don't know on the 520 plus mile battery.
Right.
I'll be curious to see what the information comes out on that one. They did not include charging information, but yeah, super stoked about that. This car has been out since 2012 and hasn't really got much of a refresh on the inside of the car. So nice to see that they finally updated it to make it look modern, but also I think it just looks better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Granted, starting price for the Model S is like 79, essentially $80,000 out of my price range, and the starting price for the Model X is 90,000.
Well,
If we would have all bought some of that GameStop
oh
stock,
man,
then we probably would have had enough money to buy that.
we probably would. I mean, isn't that crazy? So we're going to transition to that. I mean, that's amazing. A week ago, we were just talking about what was $39.
It was $38.
$38. And so
it got up to $380.
Yes, and so kind of the background of this that's within 7 days. So that's like an amazing increase on the stock. So the whole thing started with a Reddit or subreddit for those of you that
actually the whole thing started with a hedge fund. So they were shorting the stock, and so everybody from the subreddit, and I'll let you continue that part.
Well, I was going to explain a subreddit for some of you that don't know. Basically, is like what a message board or not a
message board. It's essentially a message board,
right? So it's a group, a Facebook group, if we want to use that term. But people get together and they share thoughts and so I'm not in this particular subreddit, which is
Wall Street Bets.
There you go. Which I've been reading about. You are.
I am.
So you're in it and you read what's going on there. So you can comment and then comment.
All the subreddits are just like people who enjoy a similar interest, and they all talk about that interest in that subreddit, which is kind of nice. You can find a community that you really want to get involved in.
Right. And so what a hedge fund, what they were trying to do was basically get the stock to tank
so they could make a ton of money.
Right.
We're simplifying it, obviously.
Exactly. So there's articles out there, you can go there and read it. And so I guess people caught wind of this and as a community decided to buy all in on GameStop, essentially raising the price.
Yeah, doing the opposite that the hedge fund was trying to do.
Right. And so what that causes to do is the hedge fund they have to buy it at the larger price.
Yeah.
From what I understand. And of course, I don't know much about stocks. again, sending the price even higher, and they couldn't get it really low like they wanted to. So the opposite effect happening. So those people that got in early are getting tremendous value.
Yeah. Imagine putting, so, I mean, it's a tenfold increase in your return.
Yes.
So, I mean, at the most basic, maybe you bought, I don't want to do the math on live, but just imagine you bought one stock for
Right.
$38. You would have made $380 on that one stock if you'd have sold it at the very max.
Mhm.
That's pretty good return. $348.
That's
of pure
amazing.
profit on one
Yeah.
stock.
So, and typically, I mean, not too many people buy just one stock. I mean, that's the whole purpose, right? You buy a few shares, 10,
Yeah.
20, 40, 100, whatever it may be. So,
Yeah, people on the Wall Street Bets forum are the people who will go in and they'll buy like it's almost like a minimum, it's like a thousand shares of a stock. But some of these guys, I think, 100,000 shares, 50,000 shares, like insane amounts. Could you imagine? So $340 times 100,000 shares, was that like $34 million, something like that?
right.
Insane amounts of
Crazy.
money that they
Yes.
just became like millionaires overnight.
hmm Yeah. Just from trying to, it's kind of cool. The whole concept of it of us, of regular people just trying to buck the
Yeah.
system in essence, really.
It's almost like Robin Hood to some extent, where obviously they're not giving the money away, but
No,
it's
but-
the regular people making the money versus these people who already have millions of billions of dollars. The hedge fund was set to lose like $15 billion. I think if it stays above like a certain level by Friday, I think they're going to lose like $15 billion.
that is tremendously crazy.
Fantastic news. The only problem is the government has a huge propensity for bailing people out like this. So I'll be curious to see what the government does.
Yeah.
On something like this. Hopefully they don't play into the hands of the hedge fund, because really, at the end of the day, it's just the people exercising their rights to, buy the same stuff that rich people buy.
It is, and I couldn't tell you what this administration is going to do. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Nobody does, but
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see if they do anything.
Which kind of leads me on. So part of hearing this news about the subreddit and then doing TikTok, because I'm all about the TikTok. And I didn't share this with Craig, and he could have got something, but I downloaded the Robinhood app,
Which I've had for like 5 years.
and had he shared it with me, had I been more communicative with him, he could have got a free stock. But so I downloaded the app to look at what's going on with stock.
That's what yeah. It's a great app.
Yeah, it's a neat little app. It's pretty cool. TikTok has taught me a little bit about it. I'm not a major investor yet. I still have research to do, but it's interesting now that I can have it on my phone, and if I want to just start putting money into it, and then I have to join this Wall Street Bets now because I need the inside scoop of what's going on.
There's a lot of people on there who go broke, so be careful.
Yeah, I hear that. I need to do research, but I have the app, so I've started my journey.
You've started the journey.
So I would encourage others to, it's always good to see what's going on and try some new things out and be careful, but do research.
Yeah, I heard them talking about GameStop for a while on the subreddit, and they always use these like little emojis that are rocket ships whenever they're like to the moon, like this stock's gonna go to the moon. And they say it about like so many stocks. So I kind of, to some extent, I ignore it a lot of times just because it's like, okay, these guys are getting crazy again about whatever stock. And they talked about like BlackBerry and GameStop and all these other ones. And I was like, whatever. So I didn't even buy any stock in GameStop. And I'm like, son of a gun. Like, I could have made some money here.
So my question now is, what does GameStop do with this infusion of cash for their business.
It's all going to tank. This is it's what's called a short squeeze. So I mean, the eventually the stock's going to go way back down, back to reality. But if I were someone who owns stock in GameStop, like a CEO or somebody, I'd sell like everything. I'd be like, I'm out. I'm checking out. Like, good luck, guys. Like, I'm selling everything. I quit.
Well, that's hard to do. Like when you're the owner or CEO, or you're like, an executive level, you can't just get rid of stock.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that works. I'm sure there's some SEC rule or something or other.
Yeah.
But that was my first thought. I was like, I'd sell everything. Like if I was an employee and they got like stock as like bonuses or something, but I'd sell everything like right now because it's never going to get close to this again.
You'll never. Yeah, this is the time to cash in. I agree. 100%.
I know when I worked at Best Buy, they would give us shares here and there. I think when I finally cashed it all out, I made like $100 or something. It was like not even worth my time, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, and, a lot of different companies do that. I know my wife being a nurse, I think she gets them. She can buy employee stock. I work for a private company, so they don't have any ownership or anything like that. So I'm not part of that cool group.
Yeah. It's sometimes good, sometimes not.
Yeah.
Depends on the company you work for.
Exactly.
I think we should transition to our topic of the week, which is CES 2021.
I love it. I love CES. We are going to do a show from there.
We've said this before.
Well, but it's going to happen this time. Well, I don't know if that's going to happen in 2022, but I mean, I think we need to set that goal.
We should definitely do that.
Which this year didn't happen in person anyways, I don't think.
This is my kind of CES.
Yeah. It's all virtual. Yeah, it's all virtual.
I've heard CES is awful to cover from a news perspective, so
I don't think we would be covering it for a news perspective, really.
Well, you're like talking about the products and things like that, just going around and checking stuff out. I
just want to go.
I know, but there's so many people. Yeah, it's crazy. Everybody that comes back from there always says they get sick. So I'm a little worried about it.
Yeah, that's true, because there's so many people, and then it's in a place that is just seething with overpopulation of visitors.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So first article I wanted to talk about.
All right, let's bring it on.
I thought was super cool. I don't think I'll ever buy it because I feel like this would be more expensive than doing something else. But ice cream pods, like the coffee pods from Keurig, but they make ice cream. You could have like any flavor. It sounds like a dream, right? But my only fear is it's going to be way too expensive and not worth the money. Like, it's almost like, would it be cheaper to just go to like Dairy Queen or something else?
It's soft serve, which is like the best kind of ice cream.
Soft serve is really nice.
I just got to say, I don't like having to scoop it from a bucket that's frozen, because then my freezer's usually too cold and it gets hard and I got to wait for it to soften, blah, 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 whatever. So the draw to me would be it's soft serve ice cream, which is kind of cool. But I'm a pretty boring guy. I mean, I'm happy with vanilla. So I don't know that I would necessarily do more than vanilla. I don't like chocolate.
To me, so this is dating me because I don't know if these are around anymore. So Ryan's Steakhouse. I don't know if you remember Ryan's Steakhouse or ever went to the buffet.
I am old enough, yes.
I know you're old enough. So we used to always go to Ryan's Steakhouse for like Sunday lunch or whatever, and we would do the buffet. It's a buffet. But they always had like vanilla swirl, and then they had like chocolate. So I think this could be interesting in that it's soft serve, but it could be soft serve with like different flavors.
Right. And they do say in the article that, excuse me, you can get the infused with cocktails or I would assume alcohol,
Alcohol.
which can be interesting. Have you ever had alcohol infused ice cream?
I don't really drink alcohol, so I've never heard of that though. Also,
Well, there is a place that I've been to. Granted, I'm not a big drinker either. I don't get I don't get it. But anyways, we did go try this establishment and had alcohol infused ice cream, which I mean, just tasted like a pina colada or
yeah,
margarita or what. I couldn't even tell you what I got. It was so long ago. But I mean, it is an option for those that like to partake in
yeah,
cocktails.
and there are
So,
tons of people that do. So
yes.
I think it could be interesting. If nothing else, uh, it's a semi new concept. I mean, obviously pods have been around for a while, but pods for ice cream and yogurt and all sorts of stuff could be.
Oh yeah.
It's interesting if nothing else.
It is. It is. Well, and that's part of what CES is just a lot of new ideas and interesting stuff to come out. It's not necessarily going to be available to purchase right away or at all.
Ever. Yeah.
But
That does
but
happen.
it does. But it's kind of cool that this is something that they're expanding on besides just coffee and tea and hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Ice cream pods. That's amazing.
Coming to a house near you.
I know.
Speaking of a house near you,
The touchless doorbell. Is that what you were?
touchless doorbell? Yeah, touchless doorbell. Like,
Which is great now, right? If you think about it, I don't want people touching my doorbell.
we just have a sign that says we have a baby sleeping, so don't touch the doorbell. But
You do. I remember that.
yeah. Well, I mean, we have a baby that does sleep, so we just keep it on there all the time.
Well, and what? So this is a new doorbell from Alarm.com.
And there are some other ones coming out there as well. So
Sure.
they're not the only company doing it.
They're not. Which and I actually have Alarm.com, right? I don't have the Ring, which a lot of people already have. But I mean, I already get a notification as soon as someone walks up.
Yeah, so do I.
So
I have the Nest doorbell. So
yeah, it's the same thing. I get a notification. They don't have to touch the doorbell.
yeah, but maybe I guess the big deal for this, and so it's a mat that you stand on, just so we put that out there. You put a mat out there that's to stand on the mat, it'll ring the doorbell. So I guess the biggest thing would be just that two-way conversation that can happen. I mean, obviously you can start it with your phone or something like that. But having it automatically pull up on your phone where it's a notification where you click it, it starts that two-way conversation where you can talk to somebody and say, hey, leave the pizza at the door. I left you $5 under the doormat. I mean,
well,
to me that would probably be like the biggest reason why I would use it over just having a notification that tells me somebody's at the door.
Sure. Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know if I see the point. It's interesting concept.
I just don't like people touching my stuff. Like people I don't know. Like you don't need to be touching where other people touch.
Don't you touch my stuff. That's all I gotta say.
Well, you know.
The doormat is sold separately.
Well, I don't think the doormat's what causes it, is it?
It asks you to stand on the doormat. So maybe
an appropriately straightforward user interface.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe it just detects the person and rings the doorbell.
I think that's
maybe
what
it has
it
to
does.
be like a specific place.
Yeah, well, for optimum usage, you probably need to be standing on the X or whatever.
Yeah,
is what I assume. So nice. So this next product, we might get some use out of. Not me personally, not you, but maybe someone we know.
Yeah, maybe somebody we know. It's pretty interesting. It's a lipstick pod that you can create your own shade of lipstick. So you mix it, it'll mix the colors together to make a different shade, a custom shade, if you will.
Which is a great concept. Again, though, I don't know that this is the time for that to come out because we're all wearing masks.
That is true. That is a good point. But when you've got it in the cooker, I mean, you gotta release it at some point, or else it's just wasted research and development.
I mean, eventually, I mean, I assume we will probably be out of mask longer than we are in them, but it's just it to me as a marketer or product developer, it'd be like, oh, this is when it comes out, right? Like now I have to try to sell this when, I think makeup usage is down, but it's a great concept.
Yeah, I feel like women who want to change their lipstick without having like a bunch of different sticks laying around probably could come in handy. I think this is another one of those we'll have to wait and see how women use it
Right.
to see if it's really a good product or not. And it's one thing to talk about it; it's a whole nother thing to buy it and then see how it actually works.
Yeah. Yeah. It does have to be charged.
Yes. And you have to use it's another one of those pod things. So it has to use specific pods from L'Oreal, who's the one who makes it. So each
Right.
cartridge has its own RFID chip on there. So I'm sure someone will find a way to hack it to where you can use whatever you want. But for the time being, it's essentially locked to their ecosystem. And
I
those
will,
pods are not cheap. They're $100 each.
I was just going to say, yeah, that's not cheap lipstick.
No.
I mean, the unit itself is what, $2.99?
Yeah. So you're in it pretty far.
Yeah.
It's definitely not for the woman who goes to Walgreens and buys the lipstick for like $15.
Exactly. It's you're going to want to get some good use out of it. Definitely.
Yeah. Another pandemic product. Apparently there were a bunch of masks.
Yes.
There were a bunch of masks at CES trying to get in on this whole pandemic craze, if you will.
Right.
Trying to capitalize on the pandemic because that's what our society is, capitalistic society.
Definitely.
But the one that was most interesting to me was the razor. So it's an N95 mask, but it has like the outlets on the side that do more than just filter out the air. It actually, I think those act as a speaker as well, and they also have LEDs around the I don't know about the LEDs. The LEDs thing makes it seem like they're trying a little too hard to be just Razer, the gaming company. But it also seems slightly futuristic. Like I feel like if this would fit well in a dystopian Tron movie, where where they're wearing the helmets and this is the mask that goes over them.
Yes.
Because the city's smog filled like Blade Runner or something. But yeah, I mean, so to me the coolest part about it is that it tries to. I think they're working with Dolby. They're trying to make it so there's a microphone on the inside, and it's listening to you, and it's trying to project your voice and make it not sound muffled. Also, the front is clear, so it's also good for deaf people, so that they can still read your lips, which I think is an important thing to think about. There's a lot of people who are deaf, and like the pandemic's got to be awful for them.
Yes, 100%. I do love the fact that it amplifies your sound, because that's the biggest complaint I have when I have to talk to people or they talk to me, is just that muffled sound. And just innovative to be able to. I mean, they do sell the mask that kind of poke out a little bit, so it's off your lips, but it is quite interesting what we're trying to do now.
Who knows if this will ever get released? It's one of those like products that seems good in theory, but the engineering behind it may be a little too difficult to mass produce, and it may be too expensive for people to be like, yeah, let's buy that. So interesting in concept, but once again, may not ever be released, but who knows?
They're getting it out there, because we don't know how long this is going to be a part of our life, right?
Yeah,
we just don't know.
Hopefully not too much longer.
That's what we hope for. And so the next item is a consumer item, a nice refrigerator,
A real
but
product.
a real product. But it for those of us that like the ice that you get from a fast food place called Sonic, we just refer to it as Sonic Ice in our house, right?
Or the good ice.
The good ice. It's Sonic Ice because they're the ones that really put it out there.
They made it a big thing, right?
They did. So
I think
it's
Chick-fil-A uses it now and some other places too.
So it's great that Samsung is, or is it?
Yeah,
is it Samsung? Yes, that has this fridge that will make this ice now. Because you can buy like a separate ice maker. I think has been the only way so far that you could do it. Which having
my wife just bought that for herself from Christmas money.
which is cool and all, but it's just another device you have to have.
Yeah.
Like we don't like a lot of things on our counter, but right now we have that awesome air fryer I told you about, right?
Yeah.
You got to go back without it. You can't live without it, so you got to go back and listen about that. And we have a coffee maker, and so the idea for us, anyways, to put another device on the counter just so we could have ice wasn't really what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I do like the concept that why don't you just put it part of the fridge? I think that's a great. It's easy.
It's really genius that Samsung finally put this in its own freezer fridge combo. Like, how has it taken a company this long to figure out, hey, maybe we should like do this Sonic Ice?
But I'll have to say we have a Samsung fridge. I'm not really impressed with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, and the issue I have with it is the ice maker. I don't have this cool new one, but
yeah,
on the model that I have and the research that I've done, so our ice maker freezes up probably every few months, and so that's our issue. And so then I have to defrost it and melt it and get all the ice off of it for us to use just the ice maker again. So it's been a huge pain in the rear, the Samsung fridge that we have. It looks nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it does a great job of freezing and keeping food fresh, but the ice maker is terrible. It is terrible.
I don't think they'll have a problem with this one. This is probably their like most expensive fridge freezer combo. It's like one where you can customize the panels in the front with like different colors. I think not in this article that I sent you, but in a different article, I think it's like they have it's either 4,000 or 10,000 different variations of this fridge based on the colors and the options you can add on it, which is insane. Like, that's why.
Well, I
it
mean,
sounds like a Samsung phone thing to do, not a fridge thing to do, but.
Well, they're just trying to keep ahead with the time, so we don't have to choose the olive green color anymore.
Yeah,
for our fridge. So, we gotta keep moving on. Awkward silence here. Did you? What product do you want to talk about next?
So LG. So I actually just bought an LG OLED TV, the C10. I think I talked about that in our first episode. But they are releasing, and I've seen this before, they are releasing a see-through OLED TV or OLED TV that has like it's almost like its own cart
Right.
to where you can move it around if you want to, but they envision it being essentially at the base, at the foot of your bed. So it can go up and down probably with the press of a button on the remote. And you watch TV through a see-through TV. I'm not sure about the see-through aspect. Maybe they are expecting you to be watching it at night.
Right.
And so it's already dark in the room. But kind of an interesting concept. I like the idea of a TV that disappears, and I feel like a lot of women would probably like that as well. I don't know if the execution of the styling necessarily does it for me. Like they've got handles on the cart piece, which makes it looks almost like a hospital bed accessory.
Right.
So I was like, maybe wouldn't have included the handles. But I mean, it's got some cool features. You can use it at the when it's fully closed. It'll still show like the weather and the time. It's got like this other mode where there's like 6 inches of the TV that are sticking out, and it'll give you a little bit more information, like what music you're playing, a little more detail on the weather, things like that. And then obviously, it's fully out. Then you're getting to watch TV, play video games, whatever you want to do. Like I said, interesting idea. I imagine they'll release this as a product at some point.
I could see them working on it a little bit, make it more consumer friendly.
Yeah, I don't think it'll probably be out anytime soon. But you know what's interesting? So they're using the same technology to make doors, like doors to a building, where you could have like advertisements or something on the door.
Right.
So
I would see that happening first.
I think that I think that's an actual real product. Probably not something you and I can afford, but I mean, it seems like something a business would definitely want to do. As you're coming in, you're getting those advertisements right away. Like, this is the sale of the day.
Yeah.
Whatever. But they're definitely pushing forward. I think this is the see-through tech has been around for, 4 or 5 years or so.
Right.
Not something that they've commercialized yet. So
yeah,
interesting to see how it develops. It seems like one of those things you see in movies when they're doing like future stuff. So it's definitely going to come. It's just when.
I'm sure when it does hit the consumer end, I bet it won't be so much once you have the picture coming on, it won't be so see-through. If that makes sense.
I think. Yeah, I think what they'll probably end up doing, and what would make sense, is you've probably seen that glass that can turn from like see-through to like opaque.
Right.
To me, it seems like that would be the perfect marriage of technology, where you put those two things together, where you can see through it most of the day, or whatever, and then you flick a switch and now it's opaque and you've got the TV in front and you can watch it like a regular TV. But who knows? Maybe they're working on that.
Yeah, I do know, and we didn't put the link. I didn't share it with you, but I do know that they do have a TV that basically is just like a picture frame now.
Yeah.
So it hangs on your wall. It doesn't stick out from the wall at all. And it's a really nice looking television. So I think that retails for almost 5,000. I want to say.
It depends on which size you get. Yeah, that's their G10, their gallery line of TVs.
Yeah. But I think that's for the 85-inch. I always look for the big ones.
Though, the 80+ inch TV is pretty expensive. That's the one I want to get, though. I feel like that's the TV I want to put in my media room and be like, all right, now I feel like I'm at the movie theater.
There you go. That is awesome. Well, we also have we got a couple more products we want to talk about here.
Yeah.
Oh, this augmented reality. We kind of touched on this. Was it last week?
We talked about AR, augmented reality, a little bit.
Yeah.
So this is putting it in the glass of a display of a car, like windshield, which is pretty interesting. I mean, obviously there have been heads-up displays where it'll show you like the
how fast you're going.
It'll show like arrow, turn left or right, or things like that. But this one, I mean, it puts a lot of information in front of you. So obviously the speed limit's still there. It'll still show you the directions, but this will say, instead of you having to look down at like a dash, or the gauge cluster below or behind the steering wheel, now it's got like 1.2 miles to your next turn, and it shows the road that you're going to turn on. It's got like a line on the road, so you know exactly where to go without having to take your eyes off the road. It'll show you, this part's a little weird. It's showing you a picture of a bicycle on top of the guy on a bicycle. I'm like, if I didn't see the guy on the bicycle, I don't know if I'd see the picture of the cartoonish bicycle thing.
Well,
it also, what I think is also pretty cool, and this is maybe not such a big deal for regular consumer vehicles, but it could be pretty big for large trailers or large trucks is it'll take the height of like overpasses and things.
Mhm.
So maybe there's not a sign that says, hey, this overpass is 12 feet 6 inches,
Right.
but you'll still be able to see it before you get to that overpass. So you're not chopping the top of your vehicle off.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think,
I think that'll be more helpful for our truck drivers.
yeah. Or as they call them in the UK, lorry drivers.
There you go. Well,
Fun fact.
I love this technology though, because I've been in a car with the heads up display. The first one I saw was just, it kind of came out of the dashboard, right? So it was right there. But then the next vehicle that I was driving in actually put it at the bottom of your windshield,
Yeah.
which is fabulous, even just there. So you don't have to look down. It told me how fast I was going. It told me if I was coming up to a stop sign or yield sign. So this concept really just, you don't have to avert your eyes at all, which is, I think, quite amazing.
Yeah. I kind of wish the Model 3 had some sort of heads up display, just so I could see the speed limit right in front of me. But this would be awesome. It's one of those things that's not coming right away, but it'll be here in a product soon.
Oh yeah, and once it hits one product, it's just going to spread, I think, like wildfire.
Oh yeah, everybody's gonna want it in their car.
100%, 100%.
So last thing I want to talk about: have you ever seen those Christmas lights where you can program what they do, like change the effects from your phone?
Yes.
So those are made by a company called Twinkly.
Mhm.
And so that was all they did for a while, where it would, you would take a picture or a video of your tree, and then you could change the effects of the different lights because it would know where the lights are on the tree.
Mhm.
So they're trying to find something that you can use for more than just Christmas. Trying to broaden their horizons a little bit, which is kind of nice. So they're getting into LED strips. So programmable LED strips where you can make them do different things. So Hue's been in that space for a while. The Philips Hue,
Right.
and some other ones have been in that one. So that one's not as interesting. The coolest part about that is, I mean, you can make it do different patterns, different fun little things you can make it do. They're also having one that is more like tubes, like tube LEDs. Some might call it like a rope light, but this one I think is not so much a rope because it diffuses the LEDs really well, so it doesn't look like
Right.
they're defined. So you could do
Almost
different.
like the old neon signs.
Yeah, you can make.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can essentially make like neon looking signs out of this. They call it flex, so you can twist them and make them into different shapes. So I think that'll be kind of cool. But the one thing that got me was, so I don't know if you've ever heard of Nano Leaf. They make these shapes that you can connect together, and they will show different things, show different lights, or they can pulse to the beat if you get the correct attachment,
Right.
things like that. This one kind of takes it to the next step. So it's essentially making like a small, or really, it's almost like old school 8-bit
Squares.
squares. Yeah, I mean they're essentially pixels.
Pixelate. Yeah.
So they're just giant pixels. You can arrange them into different shapes and sizes. You can put a bunch of them together, so you can make whatever you wanted to. You could do it to where you could play games on it if you wanted to. They're 8x8 panels, but to me that just seems so cool. You can do different shapes, different designs on there. The Nano Leaf, it's like, okay, you can do different colors. You can change the colors, but this one is like you can actually make it like a display. It's just an 8-bit display, so it's kind of like old retro to some extent.
Sure.
But I just think I think the idea of that's super cool. There are some people who they make their own versions of these, but to have it in a consumer product where more people are definitely going to use this than if someone were to make it on their own.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, some of this looks cool. I don't know. that I want squares on my wall that light up, but you know, to each their own, right?
To each their own. To me, I could see it in like my office where I could put like different artwork, if you will, up.
Sure. Yeah.
Or I could use it for our media room and show different movie themed pictures and things like that. Obviously it's real low res, so it wouldn't be like super crystal clear, but I think just the idea of it's kind of fun for me.
For whatever reason, the image in my head is like being at a club and just having it pulsate. That just doesn't appeal to me, but not that you have to choose that method. But
I don't think that's something that I would do for sure.
Sure. Yeah. All that time we spent in the club,
Yeah, in the club. So I think so this comes out in Q4 of 2021, so it's a ways off. Some of the other products come out in the first half of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm into this kind of stuff. I love LEDs, probably too much. I could LED all things if I could, but
I'm with you on that. No, I totally love LEDs as well. I'm all about being able to change the mood and the light. Well, I cannot stand the yellow light.
Oh yeah, me neither.
It's got to be, I like the blue or the clear sunlight, daylight, whatever you want to call it, from the different light bulbs. I do not like that yellow, dull feeling that light bulbs used to give off, and some people still like. I just can't stand that.
I do not like that. Yeah, it reminds me of it's like a weird feeling that I have like when I see that kind of light. Like it's almost like hello darkness, my old friend. Like I don't know, it's just I don't like it.
Right.
Give me 3,500 to 4,000 Kelvin LEDs and I'm good. Like Lumos. It's kind of a whitish light without being blue.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this sounds like a great show again.
I'm excited.
And so I'm a little distracted because so when I'm looking at us record this episode, I can see that we're recording. Is this time stamped? Like, did we go an hour and 12 minutes? It doesn't feel like it.
No, we didn't go an hour and 12 minutes. That's how long we've been in the whole meeting.
Okay. Because I was a little scared there. I was thinking, man, we went long. But then when it started recording, I think we started it actually like at 15 minutes.
Yeah, we're probably close to an hour right now.
Yeah, we're pretty close to an hour. Okay.
Get excited for our talk about how to count next week.
It's tough, man. It's tough. It's been a long week already. And you're going to get this on Friday.
Yeah, we're only halfway there right now. We're only living in the past.
There. I love it. So we're going to get together next week. We're going to keep doing this, banging these shows out. And I hope that you're listening and liking. So comment on our YouTube channel. Hit us up on Facebook.
Subscribe in any podcast app and YouTube. Let us know how we're doing. If there are things you want us to talk about, let us know.
Exactly. And we are on Apple Podcasts now.
Ooh.
Or iTunes. Nice. Apple, whatever they call it now. I don't have that phone, so neither do you. But yes, hit us up. I think that's a good show. We'll end it on a good note. And we'll see everybody next week.
Ta-ta.
All right. Bye-bye.